Let's freshen up some fluids on our 95 Geo Tracker. Welcome back to the Auto Obscure Garage. Chadwick with you again for another installment of Project Back on Track. That is our wonderful 1995 Geo Tracker. On this episode, guys, a very essential maintenance episode. We're going to replace all the fluids. That includes engine oil, transmission, rear differential, and anything else you might have to replace on your vehicle. Now, we've already done the coolant, so that's taken care of, but that's something you're going to want to replace if it's been a while. Same with power steering fluid, so we'll check that too. But yeah, this is a good one. This is maintenance you can't skip. Let's get in the garage and get a little dirty. Time for an oil change for our Geo Tracker. That's all we need, guys. Nothing too hard on this job. 5W30 oil, a decent oil filter, a funnel, 17mm socket to get the oil drain plug off, and then some kind of oil filter wrench to get the oil filter off. Let's start this job. Oh, that is very black. The oil looks pretty old. We're gonna change it anyway. You know how it goes. Let's let this drain out. There's our oil filter right there on the driver's side of the motor. Real easy to get to. Just gonna get a wrench on there, pull that bad boy right off. Okay, got the old oil filter off, came off pretty easy. Again, very dark oil. It's been a while since we've had an oil change, so good thing we're doing this now. Yeah, let's put in our new oil filter. Okay, put a little oil on the O-ring on our new oil filter. Time to install this one. And there's our new oil filter installed. Time to put the drain plug back in. Shiny new crush washer installed on our oil drain plug. Let's go ahead and install it and torque it down to spec. All right, time to actually put fresh oil back in our tracker. 4.4 quarts of 5W30. Your choice of oil, guys. A little interesting to get to the oil cap here. Man, that's on there. There we go. Woo. Now we cleaned up this valve cover area really nice. It'd be a shame to spill oil all over it, so get a funnel, do it right. And we're gonna be using Castrol GTX 5W30 full synthetic. 4.4 quarts. And that's it. 4.4 quarts of the good stuff. Oil change complete on the Geo Tracker. All right, we're underneath the tracker on the passenger side. There's our transmission fill bolt, and there's our drain bolt right there. So of course, first thing we want to do is pull this fill bolt out, make sure that's going to come out nice and easy. Then we'll drop the drain bolt, probably lose some trans fluid. Hopefully there's some in there. No, vehicle drove fine. I'm sure it's just old. To get those two bolts out, use your 3/8 inch ratchet and just pull them right out. Let's get them out and see what we're working with. All right, here comes our transmission fluid. Man, it smells a lot like diff fluid, which I guess you could use 75/90 in a pinch. I'm gonna put some MT90 Redline in there, but it smells a lot like diff fluid. If it took it to like a quick lube place, they'll usually put something like that in there. So I prefer the MT90, so that's what we're gonna put in here. Lets this drain out all the way. Doesn't look too old though. We're going to be putting Redline MT90, probably my favorite manual transmission fluid, into our Geo Tracker's 5-speed manual. I've rigged up a nice little setup you can see there with a funnel. Definitely not precariously hanging from some bungee cords, but anyway, I'll hold it up, dump the fluid down. It's going right into the fill hole on the transmission. I could use a fluid pump, but this is pretty easy. I like the gravity feed. Should take about 2 quarts of this good stuff right here. Then it will start to overflow out of the fill hole, and that's when we know we're done. Let's go ahead and start feeding our Geo Tracker transmission some good tranny fluid. And we'll keep doing this until it overflows. Alright, we're underneath the car and you can see it dripping out of the fill hole now. It's time to put the fill plug back in. We are full. Alright, we've tightened down our transmission fill bolt and we are good. Our Geo Tracker transmission is full. Just under 2 quarts of fluid, MT90 by Redline, and we should be shifting perfectly now. Job complete. For the rear diff, pretty much the same thing. We're using 75W90, so different than the MT90. This is a GL5 fluid. We're gonna go ahead and pump this into the back. I'm gonna use a gravity feed. There's plenty of room to run it past the back bumper. Same as we did for the front. I don't know the capacity off the top of my head. Probably a little less, I assume, than the transmission. But again, same theory. We're gonna fill it until it drains out the fill plug. 3/8 inch ratchet to open everything up. So yeah, looking pretty clean back here. We'll hit the, of course, fill plug first with the 3/8 inch ratchet. Underneath is the drain plug, pretty straightforward. Let's go ahead and get this fluid out of here. All right, fluid is coming out. Tighten this down. All right, good deal. Wipe up your spillage so it doesn't make your nice clean diff look dirty again. And we're done. Our rear diff fluid has been changed on the Geo Tracker. And I'm a genius for realizing I wasn't recording while I was filming, but hey, it's the exact same as the front. Basically just use the funnel up past the bumper like this, same length of hose going into the diff. It also took me just over 2 quarts of 75 W90 to fill this bad boy up. So we're good to go. Rear diff is with fresh fluid, ready to rock and roll. Now, because we just did the water pump and the thermostat, there's no need for us to do anything with the coolant. It's obviously brand new coolant. We flushed the whole system, we put new fluid in. So if you are not doing all those jobs and you just got an old vehicle you're bringing back, the fluid in the coolant system is usually something you want to pay attention to, right? It can be rusty, it can be crusty, there can be tap water in here, all kinds of horrible surprises could be waiting for you. Why not put fresh coolant in? It's one of the essential fluids. Like I said before, we already did that, but it's super simple. There's a petcock at the bottom of the radiator. You simply open it up, drain all the old fluid out. You can do the thermostat at the same time. Just get all that old stuff out of there. When you go to fill it up again though, you are gonna wanna fill it up. You're gonna run the vehicle up to operating temperature and have a funnel here. The fluid will go up and down as you saw at the end of my other video. But you're gonna wanna do that to burp the cooling system. Now on this Geo Tracker, this is the highest point, so the bubbles are naturally gonna come up here. You're gonna go until you don't see bubbles anymore. And then you'll know this cooling system is full and burped. This is a very important part. You'll wanna do that when you get one of these vehicles. Fresh coolant is one of those things you just need to change. After you've burped the cooling system, you're gonna probably fill up this reservoir if it's not already full. Usually when the vehicle comes back to temp, this fluid will lower down a little bit. So you want to be right at that normal mark, the full mark for cold engine. That is essential, that's important, that's what your car is going to use if it's low on coolant, and it's going to have some space in there for overflow in case it overheats. But yeah, just make sure you're following those marks when you top off your cooling system. That's another important part to make sure when you're doing your coolant on the Geo Tracker. And probably a less important fluid, but often overlooked, is this windshield washer fluid. This is an essential fluid in my opinion when your windshield gets dirty enough. And for me, I love to use a Rain-X product. So this Rain-X with bug remover is my go-to windshield washer fluid. Yeah, some people complain that it will leave a filmy residue, but that's exactly what Rain-X is. It isn't that bad, it works great, and when it comes to rain and your wipers are getting old, this stuff can save you. So not a bad idea to get in there and top this off and make sure, especially before you go for a road trip or any kind of adventure in your Tracker or Sidekick, make sure you put the new fluid in there. You'll thank yourself later in case you encounter any mud, dirt, dust, actual rain. It's all important stuff, so don't forget to top off your washer fluid. Now obviously our coolant has already been done for remaining fluids on the Geo Tracker. So nothing to do there because we did do the water pump and thermostat. So we've got all new fluid. That's a nice fluid to replace if you haven't done that yet. The last being the power steering fluid. Often forgotten, can get pretty gnarly. Believe it or not, we use automatic ATF, Dexron I think it is. It could be any one of those numbers, don't get caught up on those. As long as it's a bigger, newer number, it works fine. Should be purplish in color. Now this one looks like it was just recently serviced. We'll pop it up and look, and there you go. Perfectly purple, which is what you want to see. And we are filled all the way up, so I'm not going to actually swap this out. With the paperwork I got with this tracker, the power steering had just been serviced, so this is nice, clean fluid. But oftentimes you'll find old, nasty, smelly, dark fluid in there. Go ahead and swap that out. It helps your power steering pump stay alive. But that's it, guys. All the major fluids are done on our Geo Tracker.